Recording yet? Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Placer County Board of Supervisors meeting. Today is, what is today? Today is Tuesday, December 10th. Okay, and we're going to start the Pledge of Allegiance with Supervisor Holmes. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Jim. Okay, we are going to start with the consent agenda. Is there anything anyone would like to pull off the consent agenda today? Board members? Okay. Megan, did you have something?
Yes, Chair, we would like to pull item 11A. We need to work with the Department for corrections to this, and then we will bring it back at a later date.
Okay, is there anyone in the audience that would like to pull something from the consent agenda? Anyone online?
I see none, Chair.
Okay, so I'll bring it back to the board for action on the rest of the remaining items.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Gustafson, a second by Gore. Roll call, please.
Gore?
Aye.
Landon?
Yes.
Holmes? Gustafson?
Aye.
Jones?
Aye. Okay, now we're going to move to the public comment. Persons may address the board on items not on this agenda. Please limit comments to 3 minutes per person since the time allotted for public comment is 15 minutes. If all comments cannot be heard within the 15-minute time limit, the public comment period will be taken up at the end of the regular session. The board is not permitted to take any action on items that are addressed under the public comment. Anyone in the audience like to come up and, this is for after? Good morning.
Good morning, Leslie Davison. Didn't recognize me in my hat. What I want to address this morning is what I heard last week. Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Is what I heard last week. I was at home and I was watching online. Is a presentation by Amy Ellis. And it was a little disturbing to me because of the money, the amount of the money. And, you know, if I'm wrong about these numbers, you know, maybe we can address that at some point, or you can inform me. She said in 2018, they got a $26 million grant from the state to do sort of a study, I guess, to help people in jail, work them out of the jail, and so that they could go to court. I think that's kind of the summary of that. Her numbers, that's what was a little disturbing to me. They enrolled 22 people, and 9 have completed the program. For $26 million, 9 people have completed the program. That's a lot of money for 9 people, I would say. Maybe these people might agree with me. 9 people successfully completed for $26 million. Okay, I'm trying to talk too fast. 12 are still in the program. I wasn't sure about that. She didn't really explain that. And the rest of them, I don't know where they went. So, let me get my glasses on here. So, I think, Bonnie, you asked for what is the recidivism rate. She couldn't tell you that. You can go back and watch. I had to repeat this little video several times. The reason that I think it kind of bugged me is because for 12 years I worked psych nursing. That's what I did here in this area. I worked probably all the psych hospitals. I actually went to the ER when the SAC PD or SAC County Sheriff would bring them into the ER. I would go in and do the evaluations, 5150 them, send them to the hospital or get them back to the jail, whatever. So I think I have some knowledge of what they're talking about. Oh, I'm always trying to talk too fast. I've got a lot more to say on this, but I think the fact that the state spent $26 million for 9 people is overspending a little bit. And then you, in fact, gave them more money without asking any pertinent questions. So what I would like is for you to hold those funds until you get more questions answered, because she didn't answer any questions. She didn't give any statistics. She didn't give any outcomes for these 9 people, nothing. I mean, for 20, and I keep repeating that because it's like an incredible amount of money that was spent.
Yeah.
So I think you get my
Yes. Thank you.
point,
Thank
I
you.
hope.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Anyone else out there like to come up and speak? Good morning.
Hello, board members. My name is Sherry Daddis. I'm sure you see me often, but I'm here from the MTS shelter, and I have a little bit of a issue with what's going on over there right now. Animals are allowed to come in with you when you come in, or allowed to be there when they decide that it's okay for them to make that decision for that to happen. When I brought another dog in, I rescued her and she was dying, and they allowed me to take the dog in, not for mental health purposes, but just for the safety of the dog, and to make sure the dog was okay. So she passed away in November, and that's neither here nor there. But there's another client in there right now that's trying to get their dog in there for mental health purposes. He's really trying to stay clean and sober and do the right thing and make his life different. And they're putting all these stipulations on it. It's got to be an ESA dog. But anybody else that's done it before, they've never done that to before, that's never had to exit out and come back in just to bring their dog back in. But now he's got to do that, and it doesn't seem like the rules are fair there, and they're not really looking at both sides of the coin when they do what they do. I just don't think it's fair that they can make the stipulations on one person and not the other. You know what I'm saying? They don't keep the rules the same all the way around, because they're constantly changing all the time, coming up with new things and this and that and the other, but they're not even written rules. You know what I mean? So it's just, I just want to look out for the people that are actually trying to do something for themselves. I mean, I have over 3 years to clean this over, and I'm just trying to watch out for the people that are trying to do the right thing. And us stepping up to the plate for each other is what we're supposed to do. And I'm just trying to help out with that too. I mean, the site manager's telling me one thing and then going and telling his case manager another, saying that he has to go anyways. And it's just a big controversy over there right now. So now he's at a point where he just wants to throw his hands in the air and just go. But I know that if he goes, he's going to ruin his life out there. He just got a car. He got his license back. He's trying to do the right thing. And it's all going to get destroyed if he has to leave. And I'm just... only place I know to go is to come here and talk to you guys, because I know that when I come and talk to you guys can look out for things and watch out for things that happen there. And, you know, you guys have done it for me before. I mean, I got a new tent and, you know, I don't live in mold anymore, which is a blessing. And I'm just hoping that you guys can open your eyes to see that it's going to be a bad situation if he goes anywhere. He's a really good person trying to do the right thing. Thank you guys for your time, and I'm glad you guys are here today.
Thank you for your comments. Appreciate it. Anyone else? Okay, anyone online?
Yes, Chair.
Oh, please come up.
Hi.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. My name is Patrick Noter, and I'm kind of here to talk about the Gathering Inn and our 4 Rotary clubs in Auburn. So I'm actually the lead of a multi-club grant with Rotary International and our 4 local Rotary clubs. And we, with the multi-club grant with the 4 clubs and matching grant from Rotary International, we were able to get $19,000 that have been donated to the Gathering Inn. And those $19,000 are going to be replacing the bed systems that they have today. We're actually going to be doing that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We actually also went to a local family foundation, and we asked that foundation, we're doing this much here, would you match it? And they generously came back and donated $35,000.
Oh, wow.
So with this project, we've been able to get $54,000 that we were able to donate to the Gathering Inn. And now what Rotary has a saying, we also have a saying, is we don't just write checks. We want to get in and we want to get our hands in get our feet on the ground and do something. So we have about 40 to 50 Rotarians from local Auburn that are going to be at the Gathering Inn the next 3 or 4 days, building those bed systems. And we'd like to maybe invite you to come out, talk to Keith, come out and just visit us. Give us some, and we'd love to show you what we've been doing.
We'd love
But I just want to make that statement. Thank you.
Yeah, we'd love to. Thank you for your comments today, this morning. Anyone else? Please. Good morning.
Good morning. Gary Mappa, Applegate. And I guess since we're talking about the Gathering In, I thought I'd just kind of chime in. And I want to congratulate you and the Gathering In for the great things they have been doing and the successes that they've had. And something that comes to mind is when we started the shelter, I don't know, 12, 13 years ago, the public outcry was unbelievable. The meetings, people would come from North Auburn, and it wouldn't be just 10 or 15 people, it'd be 50, 100, 150. And we'd have regular meetings for updates on the success of the shelter back when it was Volunteers of America, and then eventually became the Gathering In. First Step was involved, and everybody has done a great job in getting to where we are today. So my basic recognition is probably the best word, is the Gathering In has been giving monthly or every 2 months a public forum where people can come and talk about what's going on, not so much in Placer County, but Auburn, with regards to the homeless shelter and the MTS, the low barrier shelter. Back years ago, there would be 100, 200 people. The last meeting I went to, there were only 5 members from the public that I recall that showed up at a meeting that probably had as many as, I'm going to guess, 8 to 12 Gathering In individuals that worked with the Gathering In, and maybe a few supervisors. Jim Holmes, you were there. But maybe 5 people from the public who gave any kind of testimony about the shelter or any negative regarding the shelter. And you probably wish I wasn't there, but of the 5 people, I recruited 3 who now work with us, and they actually monitor what we're watching happen at the shelter. So thank you for holding these meetings so I can recruit these people to help us. And that's what's happening. So I'm going to applaud the Gathering In and you for doing what needs to be done and continuing all the hard work that we put to get to where we are today. Thank you.
Thank you for your kind words today. I appreciate it. Anyone else? Anyone online?
Yes, Chair.
Okay.
Diane, go ahead and unmute your mic and give your comments.
Good morning and greetings, Board of Supervisors. This is Diane Louise Alessi from Christian Valley Park Community Services District. Nearly 60 years in the county. As consistent as I try to be. I would like to just address the fact that what the optics are for your NPO partners, especially in the HHS division and everything and anything to do with the homeless and or medical respite. This going forward needs to have disclaimer language in all the contracts and agreements that hold their feet to the fire for performance, and a mechanism in the county to do not just financial audits, but personnel audits, performance audits, and have very detailed guardrails. So when the public wants to know, they have access to that information. Amy Ellis gold-bricked me several meetings ago when I asked the specific question about what the contract amount is going to serve. How many people is it literally going to net out as a positive? And she never has those numbers. even when you ask, yet you're approving these huge contracts for very long periods of time in some cases. And that's the kind of data we need to have. We need to know cost per product person that comes out of that program. That's not available to us. If it's available to you, it's dark to us. And when we call in or ask the presenter, Amy Ellis, to have those numbers, she better have those numbers at the meeting. So that's twice now I've seen her come to the podium for these contracts. And when you ask or I ask or anybody else asks, those numbers are not available. So going forward, that needs to be fixed. Furthermore, what also needs to be fixed is that we need to do document requests that are available directly to the entity and not necessarily a pass-through through you, or you have to have a very explicit list of all of the financials and information that we need to have to review and to keep them on their toes. And I'm talking about padded invoices where you have purchasing agents putting 10 or more % on everything when the county has its own purchasing mechanism and could probably save tens or millions of dollars in that regard. So with that, I'm going to yield. Hopefully going forward in 2025, we can have more transparency and find out where all of our taxpayer dollars are going. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
We have one more. Cheryl, please unmute your mic and give your comments.
Good morning, Cheryl Burkham, Granite Bay. I too would like to talk about audits. What I wanted to start with was on December, last week, I believe it was the 4th, you had a meeting to talk about the housing element amendment. And what I'd like to talk about there is the lack of transparency. So the slides were not included in the deck, which means that participants that were on Zoom or in the room had no idea. They're supposed to go through hundreds of pages of documents to get a summary. I made a request for those slides. The meeting itself was not posted in a press release. It was not in the Go Country media. None of the supervisors' updates had anything to do with the housing element amendment. In that meeting, what happened was Chris Pahuli, the director of planning, mentioned that there were 2 new programs. So you had an EIR that you certified. Then there were 2 new HCD responded back to you and said, you need to address the sewer and the funding for each of the sites. And so what happened then was he said there's 2 new programs, and the Department of Public Works is going to help reimburse these. What he didn't say was what that meant. That meant that you were taking sewer funds from the general fund or grants. That means you're transferring. Public is now subsidizing private enterprise for these RM30 sites. That to me is unacceptable. And it wasn't even mentioned that that's really what's happening. So now we have people that are going to have an RM30 site that they might put in a senior center, no low income whatsoever, and the public is going to help subsidize that. That is just flat wrong. And the response from planning to HCD's request should have been from the Director of Public Works. They should have had a report on the sewer. Just going behind the scenes and updating some table is not acceptable either. We are owed, as Supervisor Jones said, we don't even know what the sewer capacity is, how many yards are going to be ripped up. Do people know they're doing this for private enterprise also? So I would suggest that an audit needs to happen from the Department of Public Works on the sewer, at least in Granite Bay. I'm not sure what other areas had sewer impacted. And also the original 1,219, there needs to be an audit. Why are we paying through our communities for a shortage that this board has approved over and over again in lieu fees for developers? They've not held the obligations. Why is that not taking place? Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments.
No further comments,
No
Mr.
further
Chair.
comments? Okay, I'm going to close the public comment portion and move on to the board member and county executive reports. Board members, Supervisor Gustafson.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to report to the board that Thursday and Friday of this week, the Sierra Nevada Conservancy Board will be meeting here in Auburn. It will be my last of my 2-year rotation on that board. And we will be doing a tour, excuse me, of the Taylor Ranch Preserve and the 40-acre League property on Thursday. And then Friday, we'll be meeting at the HHS building in the Cordova Conference Room for our final meeting of the year. So if you're interested in the work, Sierra Nevada Conservancy will be a recipient of significant funding from Prop 4 and be able to continue their efforts with us on our forest health. So I've enjoyed serving on it on our behalf and our rotation, and it goes to Butte County next for the rotation.
Very nice, thank you. Supervisor Landon.
Thank you. I don't have any comments. I was just going to suggest, Ms. Davison, I know you had some questions on the, I think it's the incompetent to stand trial issue from last week. And so if you would provide your email address to my Chief of Staff, Christina, she's in the back of the room. I just want to make sure you get some of your questions answered.
And I also, Sophie, we have Leslie's address, thank you, and we'll make sure we coordinate.
Good, thank you. Okay, Jim? Are you speechless this morning? Okay. Okay. I want to share with everyone, this is a letter that I received because I'm the board chair, from Malia M. Cohen. She's the California State Controller. And the subject is an award for the county financial transactions reporting. It's addressed to the Honorable Andrew C. Sisk, Auditor Controller here at the county. And she says, "Dear Auditor Controller Sisk, it is my great pleasure to congratulate Placer County on receiving this award for county financial transactions reporting, for preparing a complete financial transaction report for the fiscal year ended June 2023. The county met key eligibility criteria to qualify for this award. Placer County's excellence in reporting helps my team produce accurate local government financial data, which is of vital importance to policymakers, researchers, and constituents throughout California. Thank you for your contribution to the quality and transparency of public finances, which is in line with this year's 79th Annual County Auditors Conference theme, 21st Century Financial Stewardship. Please convey my congratulations to all your county staff who contributed to your success in receiving this award. Sincerely, Malia M. Cohen." I wanted to share that for anybody who has any questions on how we spend our money in the county and how it's accounted for by our Auditor Controller, Mr. Sisk. Anyway, so I wanted to put that out there and acknowledge what a great job that he's done. I know everybody has good relationship with Andy, and we all appreciate everything he's done and his team, and they do excellent work. So on that note, we're going to move on to, we're 6 minutes short of 9:30, so we'll go to item 3A. Facilities Management. This is about the Auburn Library. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair Jones and members of the board. I'm Jennifer Costa with the Capital Improvements Division. Nice to see you again after last week. Today, we're bringing 4 actions related to the California State Library Building Forward Grant for the Auburn Library located at 350 Nevada Street in Auburn. The first is to approve the plans and specifications for the Auburn Library Critical Maintenance and Modernization Project and authorize the Director of Facilities Management or designee to advertise to bid. The second is to authorize the Director of Facilities Management or designee to award and execute a construction contract for the lowest responsible and responsive bidder for the Auburn Library Critical Maintenance Modernization Project for an amount not to exceed $7,056,693 upon County Council and Risk Management concurrence. The third is to authorize the Director of Facilities Management or designee to approve change orders in an amount of $210,000, consistent with county purchasing policy, and section 20142 of the Public Contract Code. Lastly, the fourth is to determine that the requested actions are exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act review pursuant to CEQA guidelines section 15301, existing facilities. On May 9th of 2023, the board adopted resolution 2023-107. The resolution authorized the county executive office to execute an award agreement and certification of compliance with the California State Library for the acceptance of the Building Forward Library Infrastructure Grant Program. The award agreement and certificate of compliance were executed on May 19th of 2023. The agreement requires the county to match the award amount dollar for dollar, resulting in a total project budget not to exceed $9,802,070. The project will address critical maintenance and modernization upgrades, which will help the library provide services well into the future. The improvements include equipping the building with fire sprinklers and an elevator to access the second floor, as well as upgrades to the restrooms, ceiling, lighting and lighting controls, and electrical and telecommunications infrastructure. Facilities management will work with procurement services to issue a bid solicitation and award and execute a construction contract for an amount not to exceed $7,056,693, including an owner-controlled contingency of $1 million for unforeseen conditions. The funding for this agreement is available in the fiscal year 24-25 budget for the Auburn Library Critical Maintenance and Modernization Project. Funding sources for the project are derived from the California State Library's Building Forward Infrastructure Grant and county matching funds. There is no additional impact to the general fund. Construction is anticipated to begin after bidding is complete, and I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Thank you for that report. Board members, questions, comments?
Yeah,
Supervisor Holmes.
so I know every time I go to the library, it looks like there's been a robbery. So all those books are being moved over to the former elections department building on,
I think Mary is here to answer, but I do know that they have been working diligently to move some of them to the FAB and to the chapel, but the other is that they're moving them to other libraries throughout the system.
oh, so Rockland.
Yep, they're dispersing and
okay.
just kind of moving things around.
All right, good. Well, it's my happy place, so I'm gonna miss it. So anyhow, thank you for the report.
Okay, Supervisor Gustafson.
Thank you. I appreciate that we're planning well in advance, and we were briefed on going ahead and closing the library January 4th.
Correct.
And construction should start in the spring, we hope.
Yep.
And it should take a year. But anything we can do to expedite that, I know the public is very interested in getting their full library services back here in Auburn. It's such a beloved facility, and I know we're doing a lot in the short term to make the FAB work, and we're glad that that space exists and that we have some services, but just want to continue to encourage any innovation we can to expedite that project.
When we get a contractor on board, facilities management will work with them on the schedule to see what we can do to tighten up that construction schedule.
Thank you. I was at Medler's this morning reporting on that transition, and people were urging me to get it open, get it done quick.
Yep.
Thanks.
I'd like to invite Mary to come up and share her thoughts on this and let everybody know your plan, because I know you have great plans. I don't know about that. Well, you have very well-planned plans, I know.
Well, we know it is definitely going to be missed and beloved. So we've been working diligently, like Jen said, to rehome most of our materials to other library locations so that they are not shut away or stored, that people still have access to place holds. We are going to prop up a brand new library. It won't be full service, but we will be allowing people to pick up their holds. We will help people with anything that they need to pull that they, may not see when they browse because they won't have browsing capacity. And we are going to start a programming cafe at the FAB, where we're going to have story times, baby lap sit, and toddler times. We're going to keep our programming going strong while we're closed for the Auburn community. We're also going to spend a lot of time once we get into the fab, talking to the customers that visit us there and the customers that we see when we go out in our library mobile service to see what else we can offer for them. So it could be that we find other services that we can provide, and we'll do that.
For any of our listeners who are listening that want to know what's the fab?
Oh,
Where is
sorry,
that?
the Financial Administration Building, so the Larry Otto Building over at DeWitt.
And that's where you'll find formerly the elections office.
Right,
and
exactly, in the former
recorder.
elections office. And everybody has been so kind who works in that building to accommodate us and welcome us into that space. So we'll be there, and we'll be happy to help you once we move in. So we are closing on January the 4th, and we'll be open as soon as we possibly can.
Okay. Thank you, Mary. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
that.
Thank you for inviting
the
me.
report. I'm going to open up to the public. Anybody have questions or comments on this item? Anyone online? Okay, well, going to bring it back to the board. Thank you. You guys do a wonderful job. Bring it back to the board. Okay.
I'll second.
A motion by Holmes, second by Gustafson. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you very much. Okay, 9:30. Oh, good. We get to go to our 9:30 item. Okay, item number 1 is by the Board of Supervisors, and it's a commendation recognizing Supervisor Jim Holmes for 20 years of dedicated service to Placer County and its citizens. And we are here today to approve this commendation recognizing Supervisor Jones. And I'll kick it off. I'm rewarding myself. Wow, I've been here for 20 years. Supervisor Holmes, pardon me, I'm excited to read this to you. In the matter of a commendation recognizing Supervisor Jim Holmes for 20 years of dedicated service to the Placer County and its citizens. Excuse me. Whereas Supervisor Jim Holmes was elected as the Placer County District 3 Supervisor in November of 2004 and assumed his office in January 2005. And whereas Supervisor Holmes for 20 years has provided distinguished and respectful service to constituents throughout Placer County, helping them regarding minor issues or major concerns. And whereas Supervisor Holmes enjoyed becoming acquainted with hundreds of county employees and personally expressed his gratitude for the good work they provide to Placer County and its residents, often greeting them with a friendly, "Hey, thanks for coming in today." And whereas Supervisor Holmes has served with 12 different county supervisors, each representing their respective districts throughout Placer County. And whereas Supervisor Holmes served on multiple boards and commissions for the entire 20 years, including the Placer County Transportation Planning Agency, the Placer County Air Pollution Control Board, the First 5 Children and Families Commission, the Sierra Sacramento Valley Emergency Medical Services Agency, the Mental Health, Alcohol, and Drug Advisory Board, and the longest-serving member of the 40-member Rural County Representatives of California. And whereas Supervisor Holmes has participated in many groundbreaking and ribbon-cutting ceremonies for building more than 10 new county facilities from Roseville to Rockland to North Auburn, including the Bill Santucci Justice Center, the Rockland Library, the Auburn Justice Center, the Animal Services Center, the Mercy Housing Apartments, and the long-awaited state-of-the-art Health and Human Services Center. And whereas Supervisor Holmes has been a leader in several transportation improvement projects, including widening the Interstate 80 bottleneck in Roseville, the Sierra College Boulevard interchange, the Interstate 80 Highway 65 northbound interchange, the Sunset Boulevard interchange, the Highway 49 improvement projects, and the Lincoln Bypass. And whereas the Sacramento Bee, February 5th, editorial summed Supervisor Holmes' leadership writing, "Holmes is the true embodiment of a public servant, a humble leader who puts his constituents before himself. His neighbors know him for his kind, good-natured demeanor and his selfless dedication to improving Placer County. Now therefore, let it be known that the above commendation was duly passed by the Board of Supervisors of the County of Placer at a regular meeting held December 10th, 2024, on behalf of the citizens of Placer County. The Placer County Board of Supervisors honors Supervisor Holmes for his superior dedication and outstanding service to Placer County and its citizens. So, I would like, yeah, first of all, this about that. And I would like to open it up first to the board members, if you'd like to make comments, share your Supervisor Gore.
I'll kick it off. Jim, thank you. I was thinking about this and about the 20 years and all the things that you have done throughout your time on the board, and of course all the things that you did prior to serving on the board, living in this community your entire life and really making an impact. And it's really appreciated, and obviously people clearly have appreciated the work you have done and the leadership. And it's like the end of an era, because with Supervisor Wygant gone and now yourself, folks who have been here a long time, who really know a lot of the history and have worked really hard to get us to the place where this board is now, where we are still a very fiscally stable organization, where we're really thoughtful about the decisions we make. You have helped get us to a really strong place over the years, and it's really appreciated. We are well positioned for the future because of the work that you have done. So thank you so very much for your service, Jim.
Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you. That means a lot to me.
Supervisor Gustafson.
Thank you. Well, Jim, we said a few of these words, and needing access to our supervisors to talk about key issues for the Tahoe area in particular. You were always willing to come up and meet with any of us and hear the issues far and wide across this county, not just within your district. You always bring common sense to the solutions. And I would say that even when you disagree with someone, maybe even me, you're a gentleman in talking about those issues and talking them through. So all of that leads to the legacy that you're leaving this county. And I know there's more to come. I know you have more that you want to see get done because you're so committed to this county and its people. And thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you, Cindy.
Supervisor Landon.
Thank you. Well, Jim, I had a lot of things I would like to say, but I was reflecting on just my very first time meeting you, and I was just a young whippersnapper before I came working for the county. And I reached out to your office as a stranger and was just interested in county government. And you right away, Beverly, responded and said, yes, we're willing to meet with you. And ever since then, I have always felt like you, as Cindy stated, you are one of the most approachable people I know, and always willing to meet with anyone. And that speaks very much to your humility and just your love for this job. And you have been a mentor to me, even though you may not have intentionally been one, but you have been. And I also just want to say I very much appreciate your passion and heart for the mental health issues that challenge our community, and for your commitment to caring for our community, and your care for staff. And I always respect the fact that you give a shout out to staff at any time that you can to let them know that they're appreciated and loved. And so I think that once again just speaks to you. And so you're going to be greatly missed, but I know you're going to stay engaged, and so I'm thankful for that. And I look forward to continuing to work with you.
Thank you, Shanti.
Okay, it's my turn. I just want to tell you, Jim, how much I've really enjoyed working with you and Beverly for the last 4 years. You were instrumental in helping me get off the ground here as a new supervisor, but especially last year when I was your vice chair, you took me under your wing and you mentored me for this position right now. Maybe not too good since I'm saying things out of turn, but and I really appreciate everything you've done. And this commendation here has really said it all, except for the fact that we appreciate that you are the face of the foothills, right? That's the only thing we left off of this. You're gonna be missed. We're gonna miss you very much, so, but better keep coming around. I'm sure you will, and hopefully we'll serve on some future boards and commissions with you. Would either of you like to? Okay, Jim, please, your turn.
Well, thank you very much for this commendation. It really means a lot to me, and I appreciate everybody being here. But my success is only because of all the hardworking supervisors that I've worked with over the years. I think we counted 12 of them. And a lot of that success was because of the groundwork that was laid by some of those folks up on the wall there, Alex Ferreira, Bob Mahan, the two ladies that set the stage for this particular board with having 4 women on it was Harriet White and Terry Cook. And they set the stage for our success by laying the groundwork and taking the risky positions for the county to move forward. And I think we've really followed that tradition very well, and I hope that we continue to do that. So thank you for your kind comments. It's been a pleasure. It's been different working with 4 ladies, but I'm trying to be a gentleman. I have to be careful about what I say because sometimes it might be misconstrued, but I think I delicately transitioned. So I wish you all good luck. I'm so happy to know that Anthony DiMattei is going to take my seat. I hold him in high regard. The more I got to know him, the more I thought, this is a guy that I'd like to see to replace me. And that's why I got him on the planning commission. So I think the county's in pretty good shape. I don't think I did too much damage. So anyhow, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, and we'll open up to the public. Anyone like to come up and say something to Jim, about Jim? Good morning.
Morning. Supervisor Holmes, it's an honor to be here today and recognize you for 20 years of dedicated service. On behalf of the men and women of the Sheriff's Office, we can't thank you enough for your partnership and support over the years. I know from the Sheriff's Office perspective, a lot's changed over the last 20 years. You've been instrumental in us keeping up with change and being progressive in our profession, but not just that, but the county as well. We all stand on the shoulders of those that came before us, and you're no different. I've heard many times, I say it around my office, I've heard it said in these chambers about decisions that were made years ago, and we're reaping the benefits of those now. And being here 20 years, you've definitely put your fingerprints on the county and this organization, and it's a testament to your leadership of the fruits of your labor of where we're at today and the things we get to enjoy. I know for me personally, one of the things that always stands out, the face of the foothills. I see you everywhere in your district. Anytime I'm there, you're there. But it's been, Shanti touched on a little bit. I think it's your accessibility and really your communication style. And I know it takes work. And in this day and age, we get caught up with technology and text messaging and emails and the ways to communicate. But I can't tell you how many times, and it's always stood out to me, if I've ever reached out to you and I needed to have a chat, I needed to talk to you, I would shoot Jim a text and say, hey, you have time for a quick call? Oh, no, I'll come by. Are you at your office? In a time where we rely on technology, but when you think about it, over 70% of communication is nonverbal. The fact that you went out of your way all the time to meet in person, face to face, not even knowing what the issue was about, regardless if it could have been a 2-minute phone call. You took the time out of your day to meet in person, and I know I'm not the only one you did that with, and that always resonated with me. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for your leadership and partnership over the years, and congratulations, my friend. We're going to miss you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Anyone else like to come up and please? Good morning.
Good morning. Steve Newsom with Facilities Management. I wasn't thinking I was going to come up here, but you've meant a lot to me over the past almost 9 years that I've worked with you. And I wore my boots today to honor you. And I want to thank you for making my job and my department's job easier. And I'm going to miss your unannounced drop-ins in our office and the phone calls we've had and just your level-headed, practical leadership. And I'm going to miss you, Beverly, as well. So thank you, Jim. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you. Uh-oh.
Here comes someone that knows you.
Gary Mappa, Applegate. Just a little bit about Jim Holmes. I don't know how much I can say good about him,
Okay.
but there's some good. I've known Jim when we were in high school, and that was probably 100 years ago.
Last century.
Yeah. But just thank you, Jim, for all that you've done for me all the years. You've always been an interesting, unique individual who's always been very responsive. If I ever needed to talk to somebody, you were always available. Jim is a perfect example of what a supervisor should be, and I really appreciate everything you've done for the community, and I know you will continue doing for the community because you're that kind of a person.
As you do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
Good morning. Keith Estes.
Good morning.
Jim, thank you very much for all the help you've given. Gosh, we've known each other back when you had a gas station on Highway 49 to bring cars in there and get fixed. But we really have gotten to know each other since 2017, when I didn't know anything about the homeless situation other than it appeared to be a big problem in our community where I lived and where I have my business. So I called upon my good friend Jim, and he came out to my business and spoke to me for quite a while and educated to me what's going on so I could better understand the situation, but then also understand how I could be effective to try to improve the situation. And that's what we discussed a lot about. And your guidance and help is incredible. And again, as other people have commented, your accessibility is phenomenal. I could always get a hold of you. Thank you very much for what you've done, your support, and thank you for having such a great person helping you, which is Beverly. She makes you look really good, Jim. She always has.
I know that.
But you've done a phenomenal job. And again, thank you for all the work you've done over the past 20 years here, and especially helping me with the Gathering Inn. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Keith.
Thank you for your comments.
Hi, good morning. Supervisor Holmes, just Rob Oldham with Health and Human Services. Really just wanted to echo a lot of what's been said, but on behalf of our Health and Human Services and a lot of our partner organizations as well, I want to recognize you for how supportive you've been. Over the years, I've known you now for over 10 years since I came. In fact, I appreciate your mentorship, especially coming here from another county. And you know everyone in this community, it seems like, and kind of handing off and sharing those relationships and sharing the history of this community. So just really appreciate all that you've done for me personally, for our department, and for kind of the priority community health issues, and for some of the most vulnerable people. And in particular, I want to call out your service on our mental health drug advisory board, and really elevating, addressing mental health stigma, and encouraging people to get resources to address their behavioral health challenges. So that, among lots of other things, I think, and your commitment to staff and really checking in and leadership by walking around, right, and just checking in with people is something that I know as a leader I'm trying to do more of, and be one of your many legacies here in Placer County. So thank you so much, Jim.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Good morning.
Keith Dieter, Gathering Inn. The greatness of a man is not the physical wealth that he acquires, but the positive lives that he impacts. And I remember back in 2015, probably the first week on the job, meeting Jim Holmes. And what an eventful meeting that was. You care about the least and the last in this community. And from your work with the mental health, through people experiencing homelessness, to just being there every time that I want to have a meeting with you, a breakfast with you. I don't know how many breakfasts we've had. It's uncounted. I just really appreciate you, and I'm personally going to miss you in your role, and I'm definitely going to miss Beverly for sure. She definitely makes you look better, just as my wife makes me look better. So. But anyway, Jim, thank you so much for everything that you've done for people experiencing homelessness, done for me personally, and Godspeed on your new adventures.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you very much.
Good morning.
Good morning, Board. Bob Counts, Assistant Chief with CAL FIRE, Placer County Fire Department. Chief Estes regrettably couldn't be here today, but on behalf of Chief Estes and all the men and women of Placer County Fire Department and CAL FIRE, we want to thank you, Supervisor Holmes, for your unwavering dedication and support to all emergency services in Placer County, and we wish you all the best in the next chapter of your life.
Thank you, Chief.
Good morning.
Good morning, Melissa O'Neill with your County Executive Office. Supervisor Holmes, I am going on 18 years working for the County Executive Office, and you've been here the entire time, my whole career, and I am going to miss you so much. Walking down the hall, saying hello to everyone. Every day that we're in the office, you're in the office. You're smiling, you're chatting with everyone, you know everyone's name, you're shutting off the lights to save us power, you're checking for goodies. I'm gonna miss your friendly face, smiling at me as I'm giving board presentations. You're approachable, you are so intelligent, you care so much for Placer County. As a resident of Placer County for over 40 years, I'm gonna miss seeing you all around. Hopefully I still will. I mean, I was surprised to see you at my daughter's 8th grade graduation at Bowman School. I mean, you are intrinsic and part of the fabric of our community. And I've been so grateful to be able to work alongside you and to learn from you, and I'm so grateful for your leadership in our county.
Yeah, you're gonna make me cry now. Thank you.
Please. Good morning.
Alligator. So I'm Ononaka. I'm Executive Director of Sierra Native Alliance, and I would just like to echo the good words. As a community member, I've seen Jim Holmes. I didn't know him personally, but I had seen him at community events and being there for people in recovery and being there for vulnerable people. And so I believe Jim Holmes bought a raffle ticket. He came to our Indian taco dinner and supported the Auburn Bean Tide Powwow, which is an opportunity for some of the 6,000 Native residents of Placer County to gather and celebrate culture. And he won the grand prize, which is a blanket. And so in Native culture, this created opportunity. In Native culture, we honor leaders and elders and people who are significant to the health and well-being of our community with a blanket. So it created an opportunity here. And we would like to honor Jim for his service, his dedication, his heart, his humility, and his friendship to the Native and Latino community and other diverse communities in Placer County, and has really helped create an environment where we could elevate our own community leadership.
Thank you. Can you turn around and show everybody the blanket? It's beautiful.
Well, we'd actually asked
Okay, Jim to come down and accept it.
I'm going to offer a
Okay.
song. I think a blanket is significant in our culture. Imagine your doorway to your dwelling being a blanket. So for the commitment that Jim has had for the safety of the community, for the ability and his talents and his gifts, just to honor him with this song, asking our relatives to come and take a look at this man and just basically see all the wonderful work that he has done. Way away, way away, way away, way away, way away, 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 high, away, high, away, away, high, away, high, away, 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 oh. And then just look forward to seeing you everywhere, you know, even out here in the post office parking lot, meeting me to pick up that little piece of trash that was floating around. And just a wonderful spirit. You know, I think I've seen you more out there in the public than I've seen you here in this office. But hopefully I'll see you more out there and, you know, just continue that friendship.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that.
And I just wanted to say a couple words, Jim. I've known you since I was a child, so maybe, I don't know, one of the few people in here have been one of the young men here, a former young man here in Placer County that you mentored. And it's been an honor to know you both as a young man and taking care of the family car for my parents, and knowing that my parents could trust you, instilled that trust into me. And I just want to say thank you for providing one of the few role models in this community that a young man could have in Placer County, and showing me what it could be, how I could be a role model. And working with Sierra Native Alliance, again, just saying what my supervisors have said, just thank you for being that person in the community, from my office to Recovery Happens to here today. So I look forward to your next step, Jim. Thank you.
Thank you. You were one of my Cub Scouts.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I know.
See how it works?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all
Thank
for
you
that.
very much. Thank you.
Thank you, that was wonderful.
Wow. Whoa. I'm getting-
Good morning.
Hello, Bridget Powers, former mayor of Auburn. Tough act to follow, but I couldn't let today go away without serving with you for 13 years together. Whenever I needed you, you picked up the phone. The city of Auburn and Placer County needed to come together, and you started the 2x2s with the city, and I feel like the city developed a much stronger relationship with the county, and we have worked together so well for so many years. So thank you for starting that. I look forward to continuing that. And I'm an employee here now, I think. So I'm going to continue to help along the way. But Jim, it's been a pleasure. I admire your sense of humor. You always made me laugh. It was fun to sit next to you at dinners. But most importantly, the help you gave to the city of Auburn and the strength and support you showed is appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bridget. Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes.
Great.
Daniel, our CEO,
Right,
please.
thank you. I just wanted to, on behalf of myself, County Executive Officer, and the CEOs before me, thank you for your leadership for this county, for being very proactive, fiscally responsible, and really setting us up for the position that we're in today. And we hope that we can continue that legacy and carry this county forward. Personally, I just want to thank you for all of the sage advice and for being a great example of what true representation in the community means. Thank you, Supervisor.
Thank you, Nana. And I'm happy that you're in your position where you're at. So you're doing a great job, and I look forward to seeing more good results from Placer County. Thank you.
And our county council, Ms. Schwab, would like to say something.
Supervisor Holmes,
Oh,
it has
yes.
been a true pleasure and honor to serve with you the last 17 years. You've taught our office so much. Most importantly, I think you've taught us that history matters. And you've always been very careful with any issue that came up to explain the history of it, which meant a lot to every one of us in my office. I think you've also taught us that humanity matters, that above and beyond anything, your outreach to the members and the public in this county mean a lot to all of us. And on behalf of my office, we're going to miss you greatly. And I do worry about who's going to turn off the lights now that you're not going to be here. So we'll have to talk about that afterwards. But thank you for everything you have done for my office. Thank you for all the hard work you've done, and we're going to miss you.
Thank you very much, Karen. Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else in the audience here? All right, we're going to move on online.
Virgil, go ahead and unmute your mic and give your comments.
Yes, this is Reverend Virgil Nelson. I want to express appreciation on behalf of Placer People of Faith Together to.
Uh-oh, We lost you.
Getting a confusing signal here that I'm done talking. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. We can.
Okay. Anyway, Virgil Nelson, wanting to express appreciation for all of the years of service that Jim has contributed to the community on behalf of Placer People of Faith Together. I've only been in the county since 2014, and when I became involved with PPUFT, it very quickly became apparent that your commitment, Jim, to serving those in need in our community was very, very clear. You have an incredible heart of compassion toward those who are the least among us. You've been very committed not only to serving people on an individual basis, but to trying to look for long-term solutions to our homeless problems. You have a commitment to making affordable housing available to all of the citizens and residents of our county, and especially your ability to acknowledge and respect people across the political divide in our culture, which is increasingly becoming more polarized. You are a person who builds bridges and is open to respectful listening and dialogue, and that is so much needed in our culture and world today. So thank you for your years of service, and I know that in your official retirement from the board, that does not mean you are retiring from being a member of our community. So we appreciate you and wish you the best wherever God is leading you next.
Thank you, Virgil.
Thank you very much. More?
I see no further.
Okay, last chance, anyone? All right, I'm going to bring it back to the board for action. We have to approve this.
I will move approval.
And I'll second. Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Motion passes. Congratulations on the accommodation.
Madam Chair, I'd like to say,
Okay.
one of the things may seem little to some of you, but one of the things I was able to do in my career when I was on the fire district board and Placer Consolidated was having difficulty, we were approached by some of our firefighters to see the opportunity to bring the Placer Consolidated Fire District into the Placer County Fire Service. And I was on the chair of the board at that time when we brought that forward, and unbelievably, I was elected to the Board of Supervisors when we brought them in. But there's two young men here that were part of that transition from Placer Consolidated to Placer County Fire. And I am just so proud of them. Mr. Book, Captain Bookout and Battalion Chief, my good friend. He was one of my Cub Scouts too. But I am just so proud of you for what you've been able to accomplish in your career and having the opportunity to grow into your position. One now is a battalion chief, and I believe, and Captain Battalion Chief Bookout also. And so I've got the document and when we brought you over, so I've got that in my office, and I remember that, and it's it's just a very touching thing for me to be able to see the fruit of what you've been able to accomplish. And Captain Gregerson is one of them as well. He's not here today, but he's probably out at Station 10. And so it just warms my heart every time I see you guys. I'm just so proud of you. So thank you. And then finally, there's one other person that's retiring and someone that I couldn't do this job without, someone who kept me on line, counseled me, well, maybe you should think about that again, Supervisor Holmes. And a lot of people are going to miss me, but the person I think they're really going to miss is Beverly Roberts. Stand up, Beverly.
Okay, we need to go down the board and present this to you and get some.
Do you want to do the video first before we?
Sure, you guys take charge.
Okay. Hey, Jeremy, can you guys play that video?
Okay. It's a tell-all on Supervisor Holmes, right?
20 years, it's just really long, it takes a while to load.
Oh, just one more minute. Okay.
Okay, since we have to stall time, I guess I'll speak. So we have worked together for 19 years, and I think everybody's already said all the amazing and nice things that there are to say about you. I think one of the things that wasn't said is all of the fun that was had over the years. I'm still shocked that none of us had a heart attack in this building over a weekend with the air horn and the stealing and misparking of cars, places. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and I am going to miss that immensely. So thank you for the jokes and the laughs and just an all-around good time.
And Megan, I've watched you grow into, over the years, these 19 years, and you've really grown into a position that you really have handled well. You've got a great staff. You know how to give them direction. And I just watching you for the last 19 years. And you haven't changed a bit.
We're both identical.
Well, thank you, and congratulations to you as well.
Either the system is down and I don't know.
We could take the
I was
photo.
gonna say, we'll do, yeah,
Yeah.
let's do photos, and
Okay.
we'll go figure out the backwards.
Okay, let's go down and present to Supervisor. Okay, Jim.
I should be on the other side. Here, switch. It just feels like
Yeah,
there's too much color on one side.
Balance the color out. You bet, you bet. Good job. We're gonna swap us out.
Couple of men.
Yeah.
Get the better looking ones.
Better ditch your glasses. Heard that.
Hold on, one more.
We just promoted him to chief.
Yeah, I know, I saw that. I just saw him. Yes. Would you get a picture of me and Mateo? Another Cub Scout.
Thank you. Thank you for everything.
I met Supervisor Holmes when he owned his automotive repair garage. And so one day I went in and he said, well, this is the last time I'll see you because I'm closing the garage. I said to him, have you ever thought about running for supervisor? And he looked at me like I had flipped my Wheaties. But I said, think about it.
And I gave that a lot of thought, and I made the decision to run. After talking to a lot of people and getting encouragement, I made that decision sitting in church.
He is very homegrown, he likes to say. He cares about each citizen. He cares about this community.
His family has been here since the 1800s.
He's the face of the foothills. That will be his legacy. As the man who's been here for years, his family's been here for years. He knows everything about the area, about the county, and he knows lots and lots of people.
I think he named himself. Now he's going to be the sage of the foothills. Isn't that it now, I hear?
You know, Jim's the face of the foothills. He's been around. I think he probably cares more about Placer County than anybody I've ever met. His family's been here since the 1800s, and you could tell that it's really heartfelt from him that he cares about this community.
From the very, very beginning, Jim was there to offer his support to me as a brand new supervisor and to help me get my supervisor legs, if you will.
I work with Jim on the legal issues of the county, along with our county counsel, Karen Schwab. Everything from something that's really important to an individual constituent or an individual citizen of Placer County to issues that involve the entire direction of Placer County. I just think that he has been an outstanding supervisor.
He started in '05, I believe it was. But I think of all the building and all the accomplishments here in Placer County, he was a part of all that. Those decisions, they made good decisions.
The first one is the Bill Santucci Justice Center. We built the new courthouse. And then subsequently we built the new jail. And then the Community Development Resource Agency building was built. And then the Animal Services Center, that was long overdue. We took a little heat for that, but it's really worked out well. Then there was the Corners facility. And then my pride and joy, the HHS building.
There are 35 or 37 different committees and commissions and boards that he sat on. That's enormous.
And each one he takes very seriously, and he feels very proud that he is on these different boards. And the Youth Commission, which he started, he has a great fondness for that. The 49er Business Association, he was one of the founders. And the Mental Health Board.
Jim Holmes was very involved in dedicating a memorial to the Japanese.
I would describe Supervisor Holmes as extremely friendly, extremely approachable. I would describe him as having a conscience and a love for his community.
So I would describe him as a positive, affable, collaborative.
He gets brought into a lot of issues. He sets up meetings for people. He comes himself and listens, adds a little direction as appropriate, even to staff. And the outcome is usually very positive.
I think Jim was always willing to listen. He listened to us. He also listened to the community. And when there were good points brought up, he'd bring those to us. Hey, what's the deal here? And we'd have to be able to explain it. He'd help him understand if we had a good point and when we didn't, or when there was a second side. He always worked hard to understand those differences. He was always looking for the win-win situation.
I think what I'll miss the most is the employees. And one of my great joys is to go into the departments, get to know the people that actually do the work, the good work for Placer County, and I'll chat with them a little, get to find out their background, and finally you'll find out every once in a while that I'm somehow related to this individual.
He was a person that I always could talk to. As far as I'm concerned, the people of Placer County have really gotten a good supervisor over the last 20 years. Someone that really, really works well with other people and puts in the time to understand the issues.
Jim Holmes, I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss working with you. I'm going to miss all the times we giggled and laughed.
The one thing I know he will do, because I just can't say him not, is being engaged in something, somewhere with people, because it is a gift that he has.
He will retire from the Board of Supervisors, but he won't retire. He's got way more in him to give.
No, I have to stay active. They've always been that way. There's all kinds of groups that are reaching out to me to join this or join that. But I'll be around, yeah.
Enjoy what you put together here. Sit back, look at it, come up here, see what you helped create in Placer County, see what you helped preserve in Placer County, our farmlands, our open space, and our development. You helped put things in perspective and made a community that everybody wants to move to.
My 4 granddaughters live in Southern California, and so, yeah, I'll have more time for them, more time for my wife. We'll see, you never know what lies ahead.
That was wonderful, Jim. We'll give you an honorary seat. How's that?
Going to be the face of the foothills, transitioning to the sage of the Sierra.
Very good. Well, we have enjoyed knowing you and working with you. Okay, we're going to move on. We're not ready for the next timed item. So we're going to move on to item number 4, human resources. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. And everybody, first, before you go, let me just tell you all thank you. Thank you for taking the time to come here today and show your best wishes to our supervisor who's departing. And not only that, but you guys make all of us feel really good too. Thank you. We're going to take a 5-minute break, I think, so we're going to give you a few minutes. 5, is that good enough, or you want 10, Megan?
No, 5. I think we just let everybody clear out so it's here.
Okay, let's make it.
That, yeah. So he had said
Okay, welcome back. The board has returned. Before we move on to item number 4, I do want to make a small announcement. For any members of the public who are coming or planning to come for the item number 2 on our agenda, this item is going to be continued off calendar. This action will not be taken at 11:15 a.m. This action will be taken at 11:15 a.m. or soon thereafter. Okay, good. Public announcement made. Okay, we're going to move on to item number 4, Human Resources. Good morning.
Good morning, members of the board, Madam Chair. I think before I even get into this, just on the heels of the last item, I wanted to congratulate Supervisor Holmes on this new chapter in your life. Thank you for your many years of service, and just let you know I've really appreciated getting to know you over the last few years. So I had to say that before I got in. The item before you on behalf of Human Resources is to amend the uncodified schedule classifications and compensation ordinance to revise the titles and salary grades for the classifications of Director of Communications and Public Affairs, the Public Information Officer, and the Public Information Assistant, as well as create a new classification of Public Information Officer 1 and Health and Human Services Communications Manager. As you know, our office typically will study classifications, class series, and recommend modifications to the county schedule of classifications to reflect recent updates to classification specs in both the classified and unclassified services. All class spec revisions have been approved by the Interim Director of Human Resources and the County Executive Officer in the classified and unclassified services. The proposed changes today are a result of a countywide classification study of 13 positions in the Public Information Series to review the classification specifications at all levels within those series. After reviewing job duties assigned to each of the incumbents, there were a few changes that were recommended. The first being in the Public Information Assistant classification. Right now, it's a single position classification. There was a recommendation and a determined need to develop a entry-level classification into that position. And so there will be a journey-level Public Information Assistant, which is to be retitled, as well as an entry level for those who are maybe finishing their education but don't have any professional level experience. That will support the succession planning efforts and the business needs of the county. The other thing that was determined in the Public Information Assistant classification is that the titling was a little confusing outside of Placer County when Public Information Assistants are contacting the media or when we're doing recruiting. That title was not really reflective of the scope and level of work. Therefore, we were recommending that that be changed to Public Information Officer. In turn, our Public Information Officer classification, that didn't really reflect the interactions that that position does with the department-specific positions, the coordination efforts that go into that, as well as the assistance provided to the division head in managing countywide public information and communications efforts. So there was a retitling that was recommended for that position. And finally, for the Director of Communications and Public Affairs, it's recommended that that job title be changed to more accurately reflect the role that that position plays in supporting countywide efforts and its role as a division head within the CEO's office. We looked at the salaries within that series, and based on market data, internal alignment, and compaction between levels, there are salary adjustments that are being recommended that are reflected in your report. I'm not going to go into the fiscal impacts because it is a countywide classification. You can see in the body of your report, each individual department has been listed in terms of the budgetary impacts and the funding for those respective positions. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Okay, board members, questions, comments? Supervisor Landon?
Thanks. Sorry, I have one question. I was just wondering on the classification versus the working title. Is there a reason that they're not consistent, or I don't know if it's confusing, I guess is my question, when someone has a different working title than what their classification is, and so I was just wondering what the reasoning is.
You know, in some countywide classifications for a specific department, a working title might be used if it's related to a very specific assignment and to more accurately describe it. In this case, I don't believe there are any real working titles. That does remind me that I didn't bring up a position that was allocated currently as a public information assistant, soon to be titled officer, that was determined to be working outside the scope of the assigned duties, and that was in the Department of Health and Human Services. That particular position was determined to be performing duties outside of that scope, so that wouldn't be a working title. We are recommending a new classification of Health and Human Services Communications Manager. It's pretty equivalent to what we have in the Sheriff's Office.
Got it.
So I don't know if that answers your question, but
I think so.
there are some positions, like say an admin tech, that's very generic across departments. Some departments, if they have a specialized scope of work, may internally use a working title for those, but in this case, it seemed to be that the title changes that we were recommending under this study were more to align with what's going on outside of Placer County, so that if we are recruiting or if any of our staff are contacting outside agencies, their job titles are going to more accurately reflect the type of work that's being assigned to those positions.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, any other board members? No, I'm going to open it up to the public. Anyone in the public like to make a comment or have a question? Anyone online?
I see that, Chair.
Okay, I'll bring it back to the board for action.
Second.
A motion by Holmes, second by Gore. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You have a great day. Good morning. We're moving on to item number 5, information technology. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Jeremy, can you pull up my PowerPoint, please? I'm joking, messing with him. Yes. All right, sorry about that. Chair Jones, members of the board, Jarrett Thiessen, Placer County CIO, Supervisor Holmes, thank you for all your leadership and time working with you. We will miss you as well. One last IT item for you to approve today. I have with me Mike Campbell. He's our project manager. He's been helping get us to this point, but he will continue on as the project manager, helping coordinate all the activities throughout the implementation of this project, assuming that it gets approved today. Ben Bramer's also here, which I'll talk about, and Paul Hellman, CDRA director, is here to answer any questions as well. So I'm here today to request your approval for a software subscription and implementation agreement with Excella Inc. for the county's land management system, which has been a cornerstone of our land use, permitting, and compliance activities for over a decade. The county initially purchased Excella in 2012 to replace our prior system, Kiva, and went live on that platform in June of 2014. Since then, Excella has enabled us to process over 95,000 land use applications and supports the operations of several counties. So Community Development Resource Agency is the primary user of Excella, but other departments use it as well, including Air Pollution Control District, DPW, Department of Public Works, Assessor's Office, Placer County Conservation Program, to name a few. In total, 15 county divisions across multiple departments, along with several external partner agencies, rely on Excella to manage permitting and compliance activities. Importantly, this system also provided resiliency during the COVID-19 pandemic, allowing us to continue permitting services seamlessly through online application and payment processing. In August of 2023, we received a formal letter from Excella notifying us that their on-premise Civic platform will be retired in December 31st of 2025. So we've been running the systems on our servers for that entire period of time, the 10 years that we've been running it. What they told us, the decision was made to move all their on-prem systems to their cloud software as a service application. So they will no longer allow on-premise hosting. They will only allow clients to continue by moving to their software as a service. which that decision actually reflects a broader trend in the industry as vendors are shifting from those on-premise systems to the cloud-based software as a service models. So recognizing that shift, we undertook a thorough review of the market. We watched demonstrations from 4 alternative solutions. Out of those 4, we identified 2 that could meet our high-level requirements, and we obtained informal quotes from both of those 2. From there, we began negotiating with Excella for pricing for their software as a service model. So I want to extend my gratitude to Ben Bramer from the Procurement Office for his guidance and support during the negotiation process. As a result of our negotiations, the pricing that we received from Excella is comparable to those 2 alternatives that we received. Furthermore, transitioning from our current on-premise systems to Excella's SaaS solution offers the easiest migration path, minimizing disruption to our department's operations and ensuring continuity of service. With that context, I'm recommending that we proceed with Excella's SaaS product. This decision ensures we can maintain and enhance the functionality of our land management processes while aligning with modern technology practices. So if I may, I'll take a moment to read the actions into the record. So action number 1, approve an agreement with Excella Inc. for the subscription and implementation services for the Excella land management application in the amount of $4,260,294 for the period of December 30th, 2024 to June 29th, 2032, subject to concurrence from Risk Management and County Council. Action 2, approve a fiscal year 24-25 budget amendment, AM 01094, to increase appropriations for Cost Center 01004 Information Technology in the amount of $1,244,813, offset by corresponding cancellation of contingency reserves in the Information Technology Systems Services Fund. And action number 3, authorize the purchasing manager or designee to sign all required documents subject to available funding and department concurrence. With that, I'll answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, board members, any questions, comments? No, we'll open it up to the public then. Anyone out there? Anyone online?
Yes, Chair. Diane, go ahead and unmute your mic and give your comments.
Greetings. Diane Louise Alessi from Christian Valley Park Community Services District once again. My concern here is, first, that it's going to a cloud-based system. I think that's very dangerous, and it's never going to be a good thing going forward. It's much more hackable, let's say, but I think that kind of data should stay in-house as it is. That's my opinion. I think that the length of this agreement for a subscription is way too long. I don't know whether or not this went out for RFP for a really competitive bid for also not having a cloud-based system. And with the advent of AI, there's so much that can transpire between now and 2032 that I think that this contract length for the subscription and obligation to it is much too long. And I don't know what the penalty is for early withdrawal if there's another system that comes about that is much more applicable and or efficient in terms of AI. So I don't know if the presenter wants to get into the weeds also as to the land management, just exactly what is the software supposed to be tracking and or developing that is a net benefit to the community and or the county at large. With that, I yield. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Any more online? Okay.
No further commenters.
Give you an opportunity to respond.
Yeah, so on the security of cloud-based solutions, so all the solutions that we looked at are cloud-based now. So, vendors aren't offering the on-premise version anymore. But in addition to that, we've got a really robust information technology security team that has reviewed this. Many municipalities and local government agencies have already made this move from the SaaS to the cloud. So we're actually one of the later ones going on to this. And as I stated in the presentation, they're discontinuing the on-premise version of their software program by the end of 2025. So like we have no choice. We're moving over, but we have done an exhaustive review of their SaaS solution and their security practices, and that'll continue. Third-party management is vendor management from a security and risk compliance perspective is a priority of ours. So that's something that we'll continue monitoring as we go forward.
The other was the length of the.
Yeah, so we have termination language in the contract. So if there's ever, a performance issue, they're not meeting our compliance requirements, then we will submit to them, a letter which will allow them a period of time to cure whatever deficiencies they may have. But that language is in the contract, has been reviewed by county council and approved by county council as well, and risk management.
So I am curious a little bit about how, why the contract is so long, or the subscription is like, this is 7.5 years?
Yeah, so this is a really important tool for, it's a system of record that Community Development Resource Agency uses, as well as the other departments. So we talked about internally, 3-year, 5-year, 7-year. We got the best pricing with the 7-year. And we don't anticipate moving away from Excella. Excella has been a great partner of ours for the last 10 years. We expect that to continue for the next 7 years and beyond those 7 years. They are kind of the leader in this space within the state of California for local agencies and the state as well. So yeah, they're a good partner of ours. So like I said, if we needed to get out, we have termination language if that ever came up.
Okay, good. I'm going to have Supervisor Gore.
Just one other question that didn't get answered, the purpose of the software. I mean, we know it, but the,
Yeah,
the
you want to talk to
the
that?
questioner did not know.
I'll let the experts talk about that one.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair Jones, board members. Paul Hellman, Community Development Resource Agency Director. First, I want to thank Jarrett and his team for doing an excellent job of negotiating. The price is obviously, it's more expensive than what we currently have, so we're very sensitive to how much of an increase this is going to cost, and the length of the contract enabled Jarrett and his team to negotiate the best possible rate. The purpose of this software, again, is to track permitting primarily. So it's completely online. We allow people to apply for permits online through this system. They can also check the status of their applications and their permits. And all the other agencies within the county and outside the county can review and submit their comments and approve their reviews in the system. So every large agency uses a similar type of software, not always the same company, but there's just a few that are large like this one that many agencies rely on. And it's, again, I haven't been here, but for the last 10 years, it's served us well. My staff has no interest in transitioning to a new software company. It's a very difficult thing to do that. And as busy as we are, I really don't want to entertain switching to a different company unless it's absolutely essential. So I'm very happy with the terms of the contract, and I believe we're hoping it's going to, be a smooth transition. We won't know till we get through the next 6 months or so, and hopefully, again, for 7.5 years at least, it'll serve us well.
Okay, and I think it's going to serve the other agencies as well, right?
Yes, we're the primary user, but again, there are lots of other divisions within the county and some outside the county that also utilize it as part of our review process.
Great, thank you for that.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Any other questions, comments? I'm going to open it up to the public. Questions, comments about this item? Oh, we'd already did that. Jeez, I'm not here today, sorry. Okay, I'm going to bring it back to the board for action.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Gustafson, second by Gore. All those, we have a roll call, roll call.
Landon?
Yes.
Holmes?
Yes.
Gustafson?
Aye.
Gore?
Aye.
Jones?
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you all. Thank you for all your work on that.
Thank you.
Okay, going to move on to item number 6, procurement, countywide temporary staffing. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Chair Jones, Honorable Board. Ben Bramer with Senior Buyer with Procurement Services. First of all, I'd like to kind of thank Supervisor Holmes for all the support you've given procurement services throughout the years. If Beverly was here, I'd tell her the same, so just make sure you relay the message. And the entire staff with procurement services, again, they would like to wish you all the best with your future endeavors. So with that, we'll get to official business. I'm here to request your board's action on 4 items. First, to approve the award of competitive requests for proposals number 20532 to Kathy John Enterprises, Inc., DBA HB Staffing, a California corporation, for countywide temporary staffing services in the maximum amount of $2,500,000 for the period of January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025. The second action is approve the option to renew the resulting contract for 2 additional 1-year periods in the maximum amount of $2,500,000 annually. Third item, or third action, authorize the contract amendments up to a maximum cumulative total or amount of $100,000 annually, consistent with the Placer County procurement policy. And finally, authorize the purchasing manager to sign all required documents subject to departmental concurrence and available funding. So just a quick little snapshot over the background on this service. So various departments require a contract with an employment agency for temporary staffing services. The placement's limited to administrative clerk journey, accounting assistant journey, election aid, and warehouse workers. Our current contract expires at the end of this month, December 31st, 2024. So to continue these services, procurement services worked with human resources to solicit competitive requests for proposals. 38 submittals were received, and through an extensive evaluation process by a panel consisting of representatives from Human Resources, Health and Human Services, Community Development Resource Agency, and Department of Public Works, and the Elections Office, it was determined that Kathy John Enterprises is the most qualified firm to provide the services that were stated in this solicitation. Each department will be responsible for budgeting properly for these services. Funds will not be encumbered until the services are rendered. The actions requested exceed the purchasing manager's authority, so this is why I'm in front of you. So if you have any questions.
Okay, I'll bring it to the board. Any questions, comments? Okay, seeing none. Anyone in the public? Anyone online?
I see none, Chair.
Okay, bring it back to the board for action. Motion by,
Supervisor Lane.
I'll second.
motion by Holmes, second by Landon. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you.
All right, thank
you
you.
for your report. Okay, we're going to move on to item number 7, our Public Works Purchase Agreement with Gen Fair LLC. Good morning.
Madam Chair and members of the board. First of all, Supervisor Holmes, it really has been a pleasure working with you, and I don't think I would be remiss if I didn't thank you for all the support for transit services over the years. One day we may rename Tart Connect Pop Tart, but but thank you. Thank you for your service and everything you've done for all of us here at the county. Before you today, I am here to request 4 items. First being the approval of the fiscal year 24-25 budget amendment, number AM01092, to increase the appropriations for a capital asset purchase by $1,136,000, $286.60 for CC 19004, Placer County Transit, offset by a cancellation of reserves and movement of existing budget authority. Number 2, authorize the addition of $1,136,286.60 for fiscal year 24-25 county capital asset list. Number 3, authorize and approve the purchasing manager or designee to execute a purchase agreement with Genfair LLC for an amount not to exceed $1,136,286.60 for fare collection equipment and server upgrades subject to county council and risk management concurrence. And number 4, determine the proposed actions are not projects pursuant to CEQA guidelines section 15378. Here within Placer County, we use Genfair fast fare fare collection boxes on our buses. We acquired this equipment initially in 2010. And the equipment does serve purposes of collecting fare as well as passenger counts on both our Placer County Transit as well as Tahoe Truckee Area Regional Transit fleets. While TART is fare-free, we do use this equipment to collect passenger count data for that particular service. The equipment is aging out. It was initially introduced into the market in 2000. And it has got about 25 years on it, and so the company who has produced the equipment will no longer be supporting the particular fare boxes that we have, the Odyssey fare boxes on our buses. We are looking to upgrade to their fast fare fare boxes, primarily on the Placer County Transit fleet, but they will continue to support the equipment on TART, so we can continue to collect passenger counts until we can move that system to automatic passenger count equipment here in the near future. We are looking to do a sole procurement per section 3.6A of our procurement policy, as Genfair is the only one who offers the fast fare fare collection equipment in the industry, and it is compatible with all the equipment that we currently have within our fleet. The other thing with this upgrade is we will be able to accept not only cash, but the credit card tap to pay technology as well, which will be a huge upgrade for us. So no matter what folks have in their pocket, they can pay their transit fare. This does not have an impact to the general fund. We will be using our TDA, or Transportation Development Act, funds that we have been kind of banking for this upgrade over the last 3 years for this upgrade. And with that, I'll take any questions you may have.
Okay, board members, comments or questions? No? Does the public, anyone out there, have comments or questions? Anyone online? Okay, bring it back to the board for action.
Move approval. I'll second.
Okay, motion by Gustafson, second by Gore. Roll call, please.
Holmes?
Aye.
Gustafson?
Aye.
Gore?
Aye.
Landon?
Yes.
Jones?
Aye. Okay. We're going to move on to item number 8, clerk of the board. Okay.
I know. We've got a little time to kill.
15 till,
It's
yeah.
going to be a really long presentation. Good morning, board members. This is similar to an item that we took in November related to another one of the committees and commissions that you serve on. The Rural County Representatives of California, Supervisor Holmes, with your retirement, we will now have a vacant primary seat on that council. So we are asking that the board appoint Supervisor Landon, who is currently serving as the alternate, to the primary position. Normally, we would take this in January, but the reason that we're asking that the board take action on this now is that the first meeting is on January 8th, so we would not have our appointment in place in time for a supervisor to attend as a primary. So with that, I can answer any further questions. There is an alternate position to this seat and 2 other committees that do go along with this. We will take those forward in January. This is the only one that by not moving forward in December, we would be missing out on.
Okay. Supervisor Gore.
I think Supervisor Landon would be an excellent representative, especially because other than Supervisor Gustafson, who has the rural area, District 2 has the rural area, and she's clearly interested in policy issues that affect our ag, our rural areas, so I think she'd be an excellent choice.
Thanks.
Supervisor Holmes.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. Sorry, I was miles away.
Okay. Yes, since you were the alternate, I think it's appropriate for you to move up one step and take over as the primary. So congratulations on that. Good luck to you. Best wishes.
Sorry, I do need a motion on that one.
Yes, take it back to the, I need, yeah, anyone out there like to make a comment or have questions in the public? Anyone online?
I see no one online.
Okay, then we'll bring it back to the board for action. Motion by Gore, second by Gustafson. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Congratulations on your new charge. We are going to have to recess temporarily until 11:15, which is our next item. Our item number 2, which is Community Development Resource Agency, Villages at Palisades, Tahoe Specific Plan. Okay, we will see everybody back here at 11:15. Development Resource Agency, Village at Palisades Tahoe Specific Plan. Good morning.
Planning Director. Staff is requesting a continuance for this item, which includes an exception to the minimum fire safe regulations and a large lot vesting tentative subdivision map for the Village at Palisades, Tahoe. The request follows the receipt of a letter yesterday afternoon from Shoup, Mahali, and Weinberger on behalf of the League to Save Lake Tahoe and Sierra Watch, raising procedural concerns regarding the item. Additionally, a letter from the Olympic Valley Fire Department was received on Friday, offering suggestions for potential items to be considered as part of the exception. Due to the timing of both letters, staff, with the applicant's concurrence, is requesting that the item be continued off calendar to allow for time that the staff and applicant can then review the concerns and suggestions identified within those letters. So that concludes the remarks that I was planning to make. If the board has any questions about the continuance, I'm available to answer them.
Board members, questions, comments? Do I need to open it up to the public too?
My only
Supervisor
question is,
Gustafson.
do we have an indication from county council or planning as to when we think this might come back so the public has as much advance notice as possible?
We do not at this point.
Or hypothetically, Jan, I mean, it's
No,
not happening before the end of the year.
It is
I
not
really
happening
don't
before.
want to speculate on this. We got these letters.
Yeah.
The Shoup Mahali letter came in at 1:30 yesterday afternoon.
I understand. Yeah, but definitely not the end of this
No,
year.
no.
So if we can at least clarify that for the public, I think that helps.
That's
that
correct.
Wait till after the holidays.
Okay, good. Would you like, would you like to add anything, County Council? No. Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming and letting.
Other than we will need a motion to continue.
Oh,
off
okay,
calendar.
yes, we do, I guess. Do we need to take any public comment?
Nope.
Okay, bring it to the board for action.
I move that we continue this item off calendar.
Jim, you wanna- okay. Motion by Gustafson, second by Holmes. I guess, and all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. So we will see you at a date uncertain. All right, is there any further business to come before the board? No? Okay, this meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everybody.